Good morning, all. I hope I am audible for all of you. I think some of you are there in the previous classes. Yes, so. I hope you all are giving me 2024 prelims. How many of you are giving your first attempt? Majority of it. Second attempt? Okay. So, only two of you have been experienced, in the last year. So, how do you feel the coming days? Because you have already gone through last year, you have already given your first attempt. What you learned? I first want to listen your experiences. How many marks did you get? I mean, where do you think that you need to improvise? So it was kind of half attempt. US? This is first attempt. Okay. Only you have given one attempt. So how many of you have seen the question paper of last year, 2023 prelims? Okay. So the first step of preparing for civil services is, I think you have known already, that to look and open the notification of previous year, right? 2023 UPSC Civil Services notification you have to have into your hands. Okay? You have understand the requirement of the exams. Most of the students, what they do, including myself, I have worked through this, that unless until you understand the requirements of the exam to start, preparing for it, the disaster will happen inevitably. So I had gone through this almost 2-3 times. So, it is good that you are giving your first attempt now in 2024, and you will have an opportunity to experience and understand what this UPSC exam actually requires.
Session will remain as an interactive session, right? So instead of me talking in a one way, I will leave this floor open for you guys to open your questions after my initial 10-15 minutes of letting you know what all this exam is required, right? So after that, you any kind of question at any point of time, do not hesitate. I hope you are all well versed with the English language, right? So you any of you are giving your exam in the vernacular medium in your mother tongue, or all of you are giving in English only, no? Okay. So any question at any point of time, you can stop me. Okay. You can ask any questions. I'll answer to the best of my ability. Okay. So certain requirements are there for this exam. Certain requirements means a general characteristics what this exam requires. First and foremost is the patience, because this exam is spanning for more than 1.5 years. So you need to have a lot of patience first, and then the second, courage. Courage is required for this exam because this is a civil service exam where you will have the brightest minds competing against each other, right? All of you are very bright and you will be competing with the person sitting next to you. And sometimes what will happen, whether I will be able to clear this exam or not, such kind of doubts will keep on coming. It's quite natural, it's very cyclical, okay? Every now and then this kind of doubt will come and go. So to tackle such kind of doubts, you need to have the courage, right? And third thing is logic. You should have the bent of logical mind of approach while studying, while studying any topic or anything, whatever you are studying, you have to apply your logic. Why it is given, WH questions, why, where, what, how, all these WH questions, if you get answered, then the things will become very easy. Then comes the clarity, role of clarity. Instead of rote learning, instead of mechanical learning, you should have clarity of mind. This clarity of thought is everything in this exam. Earlier, I failed in the 2 attempts, initial 2-3 attempts, because in the first 2 attempts I couldn't clear the prelims also. In third attempt, I cleared prelims, I cleared mains, I went till interview, but in interview I couldn't perform well, so I remained, outside the PDF list. So to have this clarity of thought, what one should do is to continuously put question to yourself, like what you are doing actually. WH questions. These are very important. These WH questions. Why, what, where, how, when. These questions for each and every topic. Then you will get the clarity of thought. Okay. And always try to have one or two friend circles who are very sincere, if not serious. We don't need serious thing in this exam. We need sincere people who can deliver actually about your requirements. See, I too had one friend from Bangalore. So he and me used to be on call for 1 hour together. I was there in Delhi, he was in Bangalore. Yet we were connected through this social media app. Like we had never met. We were in touch with only the Telegram app, and we used to discuss for 1 hour kind of. So at that time, we used to always discuss, always put questions to each other, right? So have one or two maximum friend circle wherein you can cash in on each other's strengths, okay, and you can improve on each other's weaknesses, right? So while doing the discussions, you should always put these questions to yourself only. WH, why, what, where, to get the clarity of thought. Once you get the logic, clarity of thought, and if you have the patience and courage to go further, then this entire exam process will become very enjoyable, right? Otherwise, it will become stressful. That's the reality, because since it is spanning for more than 1.5 years, it strains you mentally and physically, because for almost 8 to 10 hours you need to study in a day. So it will suck your energy. To have that, you need to have the physical fitness as well, along with the mental toughness, right? So these are the general characteristics required for this exam. And then coming to the main part, like syllabus, right? You have to understand the syllabus not from any other institutes or any coaching or anything such that. You need to understand the syllabus solely from the notification. The role of notification is very important here, to understand the requirement exam through the syllabus along with the previous year question papers. You are getting it? I hope I am connecting with you guys, because these are the steps you need to take before attempting the exam. Otherwise, what will happen? Again, just like me or lakhs of earlier students like in the previous years, you keep on wasting your years. So you will not be knowing, days will be passing, time will be flying high. Then you will never know that what is the requirement of this exam. By the time you understand, six attempts will be over. So then the regret will start. So instead of that, now only you open the notification, try to understand the requirement of the exam through the syllabus, official notification itself. Then you will understand, right? I hope all of you are, if not all of you, at least 70-80% of you are engineers here, right? Most of the students are engineers, no? Anybody from arts background? Okay. Commerce? Okay. And medical background, anybody? Okay. So the combination of all, it's good to see, because wherever we go, usually we see only 70-80% of engineers. So anyway, see, the people who have come from the arts, background will have certain edge. They should not feel, kind of, what we have seen is arts people, when compared themselves to the engineering or other technical background, guys, will feel demotivated. It should not be the case. In fact, the people who have come from arts will have lot of edge in this examination, because it's a humanitarian subject. This UPSC entire subject, they will cover the arts subjects only, right? So you guys have to understand your strengths and weaknesses and decide the requirements based on the UPSC notification alone, and you will have edge over other candidates who have not gone through the notification. All right. Next, after reading the notification comes the role of the previous year question papers. Okay, most of the guys fail in the exam because they will not go through the previous year question papers. This previous year question papers is a must. before going through solving the coaching institutes or any other questions, right? I would like you to go through the previous years minimum 2014 onwards, because the syllabus changed in 2013 onwards. So you go through 2014 onwards, okay? 2014 to 2023, last 10 years prelims question papers, almost more than 1000 question will be there, okay? 100 question means last 10 years, okay? 1000 questions, you have to know the answers by heart. By heart means you should know the logic, how they have asked the question, what are the options they have given, what kind of conclusions they have set through. Because UPSC plays with the mind game. This exam is related to the mind game, the mental toughness and alertness. You should be very alert. The solution lies in the questions itself. Sometimes, most of the I have realized it through number of hundreds of question papers I have solved. More than 100, 200s you can say, in my course of almost 3 years. 200s of prelims question paper I have solved. Based on my experience, I will tell you, out of 100 questions we will attempt, almost minimum 5 to 7 questions we will make mistakes unknowingly. We will be knowing the answers, very easy questions. Just for the sake of example, I will tell you, when did India get independence? Like that. Options will be there. Every second, fifth standard student can answer this question. Such kind of questions will be there, but still we mark wrong because of our absence of mind. We will not be alert. So these kind of things you will understand only when you put yourself through rigorous tests. After going through these previous year question papers, the next thing comes these question paper solving of institutes and daily practice, weekly practice. Once in a fortnight you have to write at least 4 to 5 prelims test papers, full length prelims test papers, like that, right? So you might have already gone through some coaching, no? Like coaching classes are going on, no, right now. So you have enrolled in almost March, April 2023 time, right? No? So you have already come across half the way about your coaching institute. So whatever has been taught in your coaching, and you have made notes out of it, handwritten notes, or else you have been given printed notes, those will act very handy. So usually we have a tendency to neglect those things, but coaching institutes, irrespective of the institute, you have whatever notes you have given, those notes will act as handy, kind of ready-made notes for you, okay, to save your time. So you go through those notes also, compilations also, and you have to restrict yourself in your reading. It's like it's not that in a sea, it's like a sea, open sea. You cannot cover the entire sea to catch your fish. You cannot spread your net all across the sea. You can only cover certain portion of the sea. Like that, you have to stick to the fixed sources of studying, irrespective of what others say. Irrespective of what others say, you have to restrict yourself, because in this technological era, you will have plenty of resources to follow, but you cannot follow everything because time is not there. So you have to restrict for each and every subject. The NCRTs are the foundation, and the one standard reference books. For example, for quality, Lakshmikant is there. For history, Spectrum or DD Bus, for Spectrum or any other referred book by the institute lecturer, or for each and every subject there is a book in the market. You purchase only one book, okay? For environment, Shankar IAS book, like that. There used to be standards like 5, 7 years back when I was preparing. Now the situation might have changed. You go through the previous year toppers interviews, at least 10, 15 toppers interviews if you go through, especially from that brunal.org site, right? So if you have gone through, or if you go through now, you will understand what all are recommending in common, in general, right? You stick to those. Do not divert yourself from somebody's influences or somebody's recommendations. You stick to the general kind of reference books only, and diligently follow them, religiously follow them. Okay, otherwise things will keep on dragging. So you have to fix your border very clearly. This reference border is very much needed. In this reference border, at the base of it lies the NCRTs. And for each and every subject you write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 subjects are there total for each and for each and every subject NCRTs have to be referred. They are the must. Okay. For polity, Lakshmikant is there. For geography, the NCRT book is there. For geography, many people will refer thick books. Not needed. Because if you go through the previous year question papers, you will understand what is the actual level of questions asked from geography, level of questions asked from environment, polity. All these things you will come to know. That's why everyone suggests you to go through the previous year question papers. So based on that, you list down the topic name, not topic, subject name, and the reference, standard reference book, and you stick to that, irrespective of what others say. Okay. So after this, your study routine. The study routine has to be very very well thought of. We are human beings. A person sitting next to you is very different from you. Okay, and each and everyone has their own biological clock. It is not fixed that you have to get up at a certain time, or and you have to continuously sleep at this time like that. But what I suggest you, fix your routine. Even if you are sleeping at 3 a.m. in the morning, that's okay. And getting up at 10 a.m. in the morning, that's fine, perfectly fine. And if you are sleeping at say for example 10 p.m. and getting up at 5 a.m., that's fine. Or anything. You fix your sleeping time and waking up time. Are you getting it? Irrespective of what is that time. Okay. Minimum 6 hours of sleep. Okay. 6 hours of sleep. 6 hours of sleep is quintessential. It's very much needed. Not more than that. Because time is everything, and you have to manage it very well. And to manage the time, first you have to fix the sleeping time and waking up time. I'm not talking about you have to sleep at this time or wake up at this time. It is left to you individually. Okay. I am telling you because in my first 2 attempts I couldn't clear the prelims because I was very opposite. Sometimes I used to sleep at 10 p.m. Sometimes I used to sleep at 1 a.m. Sometimes I used to wake up at 5 a.m. Sometimes I used to wake up at 9 a.m. like that. Complete haphazardical method of organizing my time. So after failing, I understood. Okay, the failure is in the time management. So I rectified the solution. I found out. I used to sleep at exactly 1 a.m. in the night and get up at maximum 7 a.m. So almost 6 hours of sleep, irrespective of what is the my study routine. And if not suddenly, after a certain time, like say for example 20-25 days of continuous routine, it became a habit for me. No matter how much tired I am or how much active I am in a day, I always used to sleep by 1 a.m. and always used to get up by 7 a.m. Right? So once I fixed this routine, then I started structuring my daily remaining hours for the study purpose, for my entertainment purpose, everything like that. So I had decided by 10 a.m. I have to be complete with the newspaper reading, because newspaper reading used to take a lot of time. Initially, for me, it used to take minimum 3.5 hours. If you spend 3.5 hours in newspaper itself, so you will not get time for others reading. So it is better if you complete your newspaper reading by 10 a.m. The rest of the day you can plan your these things, prelims, and then optional subjects, and you can cover at least 2 to 3 subjects to avoid the boredom. UPSC preparations, at many times will feel like very boring. For example, for geography, especially for me, was very boring. So whenever I used to take the geography book, I used to feel sleepy only. So to avoid such things, people suggest, what they will suggest, you have to take one subject and finish it in the entire day. No, I would not recommend this. You take minimum 2 to 3 subjects, okay, for 1.5 hour for geography, or 2 hours for quality, or 1 hour for current affairs. Like that, you schedule your time accordingly. Minimum there has to be two to three different subjects and one for current affairs. Current affairs has to be there. Okay, cannot avoid that. Current affairs has to be part of it, and especially since you are at this December month now, and prelims will be in the month of May only. Yes, the dates have been already conveyed to you. So this is the ideal time to start your prelims preparation, irrespective of your optional preparations. No matter, even if you have not decided optional also, that's fine. But start your preparation for prelims, not for mains. Because many of my friends are there. They have cleared the prelims with 10 to 12 days or 15 days of preparation. They are gifted. But 99% people, if not 100, 99% of the people will face difficulties in prelims only, right? So even I had also faced that. Prelims is the biggest hurdle for most of us. So to avoid this, people suggest that if the exam is in May, you can start your prelims preparation 60 days or 90 days before the exam. No, I suggest take minimum 5 months. Alright, minimum 5 months, around 150 days of time is remaining yet. So you structure your preparation accordingly. Your target has to be nothing but prelims 2024. No matter what others say in any institute or any others. Whoever are in Delhi, any of your friends, do not listen to anybody. You set your date, prelims date, that has to be your target, and whoever are giving the attempt in 2024, let me remind you, you will have a lot of doubts. Like, I have not prepared enough, I will quit this attempt, I will attempt next year. You will never attempt in your life if you go through like this. Because it is my personal experience also, and I have seen many people also. So never ever skip your attempt, thinking that you will perform better in the next attempt. Never ever. And let me tell you, you can write it down also that 90% of you people sitting here will have this doubt. I will skip the this year's attempt. I have not prepared well. I will prepare next time and will give next year. No, do not do this mistake ever. Right? Your age is not under your control. Your time is not under your control. You have to bring back to your control, because this preparation is just like this. Even if you are given 10-15 years also, these kind of doubts will keep on coming. Until unless you see your name in the final list, these doubts will keep on cropping up. Whether I will be able to clear it or not, like that. So self-doubts will always be there. So that's why I said courage should be there to tackle them. That is where the strength, mental strength comes into picture. UPSC exam is just like this. It doesn't require high IQ people. UPSC itself has clearly told, we don't need Einstein kind of brain students here, right? And Einstein kind of brain students will not prepare for this exam. Let me tell you very clearly. Whoever are sitting, the people who are writing this exam are like obviously smart people, just like you guys, but they will not. We are all not be like very intelligent and average IQ people. People who have cleared along with my batch and subsequent batches also, and even earlier also, I have seen the people who have cleared, all have cleared with, if not 100%, at least 90% of the people are average intelligent people. We have not achieved 99% in schools and all, just 70-80% guys only. Okay, so it requires persistence. It requires smart work along with the hard work. Hard work is essential. Okay. And it also requires the knowledge of knowing what you are doing, right? This exam, UPSC exam journey, teaches you the spiritual aspects also. If you involve deeply in this, it will give you a lot of exposure towards many aspects of the life. So you should be ready to pursue them and prepare accordingly. So fix your routine, fix your target, and let me also tell you these 24 hours, 24 hours target rule. 24 hours, 1 week plan. This is directly proportional. These are all correlated. Okay, you just have to prepare one week plan, not more than that. And within 1 week also, if you are not able to prepare 1 week plan, you stick to only 24 hours rule. What you have to cover in the 24 hours, that's it. Do not think of 1 week, 1 month, or target is set already, because prelims is there. You have got 150 days in your hand. You write it down in your paper, in your wall, in your bedroom, saying that 150 days. You can mark from 150, 149, 148, date and then number. Today's date is 14th, December. You can write 150 days are remaining now. Tomorrow, 15th December, 149 days, like this, in descending order, till the target date, 0th D-day, deciding day, right? So, you have got these many days, and your study routine should be like 1 day, confined towards 1 day only. Like in 1 day, what you will cover. And you have to plan in such a way that at least 60 days before the prelims date, 60 days before prelims day, you have to be in a position that you have to start your revision, right? Revision has to be started at least 60 days before your prelims day, and in those 60 days, you should not do anything extra, anything new. That if some new thing will come into market, apart from these prelims snippets will be there. Some coaching institutes will compile the prelims not more than 50-60 pages, right? Some people I have seen, like in 2020, 21, 22 times, people used to compile like more than 200 pages when the exam itself is like just in 30-35 days. For example, they used to give the current affairs of quality, and that document itself used to contain more than 200 pages. What will you do with that when the exam itself is just 1 month away? When will you read that? When will you revise that? And revision also should be minimum 2 times, minimum. If not more, minimum 2 times revision has to be there. So, do not do anything extra. If it is except that prelims compilation, and that too, you identify such an institute which has compiled within 50 page, 35 page, 40 page for each subject, so that you can quickly read that and quickly revise also, right? Just for your refreshing. So 60 days before the prelims date, your revision has to start, and that has to be rigorous, and no new thing has to be done in that time, right? You are getting it? So this is, after this, question paper solving. Your question paper solving has to start from 1st of January under any circumstances, no matter what is your preparation. If you are prepared or not prepared, it is immaterial. You just take one question paper for 1 day, at least one question, full length question paper. That means 100 questions. And if I think you might have already started giving the this institutes, they are conducting now. So you keep on doing that. Along with that also, at least one paper from 1st of January onwards, right? And that question paper solving also should not be mechanical. You should treat it like a UPSC question paper itself. No matter what, even if a 10th standard student has set the question paper and has given it to you, you should consider it as a UPSC question paper itself. Many people, what they will think, it's a coaching institute paper. Let me attempt 100 out of 100 and then see, I will get what marks, like that. You can trial and error, there is nothing wrong in it, but you should trial it with uttermost sincerity. No? You should be sincere that these question papers are of UPSC question papers only, and you are solving them. And you have to solve it with exact 2 hours of time, within 2 hours. I have seen many people, just in order to get 2-3 marks extra, people will solve those question papers by taking 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours if you take, UPSC will not give that much time. And preferably, you solve those question papers either from UPSC exam time will be there, first paper when it will be there, timing. Usually when the UPSC conducts papers on Sundays, Sundays at what time? First paper 9:30 to 11:30, and second paper 2:30 to 4:30, right? So this is the UPSC's ideal time. So in this time frame only you also start solving question papers, right? Just to acquaint yourself with the UPSC cycle, right? I hope what I am telling you is kind of strategical planning, okay? This UPSC requires this much only. It's just a simple plan and ability to execute it, right? What the administration is all about. Administration is all about planning and execution. So you in this, whatever role you are aspiring in government sector, it's nothing but planning and execution. You take the role of law and order, you take the role of general administration, revenue collection, take the role of railways, defense, posts, anything you take. It's just the role of planning and execution. And UPSC will prepare you from this stage itself to work further in your careers, right? You are getting it right. So plan it in a simple manner and effective manner and execute it. Okay. I hope these things are clear now. And one more thing regarding the CSAT. CSAT has become a big headache for everybody, including the engineers from IITs, IIMs. Management graduates from IIMs are also struggling, who have cleared the CAT. CSAT has become that much difficult now. So especially people coming from the arts background are facing this heat because they are not able to effectively solve the quantitative aptitude. So what I will suggest you, if you are very addicted to the Instagram and all, or if you are addicted to the YouTube, you do one thing, just subscribe only to the tricks, methods these people have started nowadays. Like always try to learn from each and every source regarding the tricks and all, starting from now itself, like from December month itself, about at least 15 minutes, if not more. 15 minutes is maximum, including people coming from this arts, commerce, anything background. Okay. Engineers also must. 15 minutes per day you have to give for CSAT. It looks like what will you learn in 15 minutes, but simple tricks in 15 minutes you can learn it from YouTube, especially YouTube channels. Even I, despite being an engineer, I am also very weak in the mathematics. I was kind of a reluctant engineer, just like many other engineers of this era. So what I used to do, I used to go to the YouTube. YouTube is the only solution. Go to YouTube, there are number of channels. You just type ratios, proportions, or percentage, or age calculators, like that. You just whenever you are having your lunch, dinner, breakfast, you utilize that time also. If not, if you are not getting time, you utilize that time also. Just listen to the tricks, and if possible, you note down the tricks whenever you are watching the video for the first time, and whatever they are telling in the YouTube tricks, you just note it down somewhere. While revising, they will come handy, right? And before the prelims day, you have to solve at least 10 CSAT papers, full length, and that too in the 2:30 to 4:30 time. Okay, 4:30 p.m. schedule. You have to solve within this time because usually afternoon after lunch we have a tendency to get nap. Okay, short nap or long nap, depends on your individual ability. So to avoid that, to test your mental alertness, because CSAT is again the test of your accuracy and time, speed, right? So you have to quickly think and execute. For that, you have to practice at least 10 CSAT papers. Despite being an engineer, we used to neglect thinking that we will solve mathematics questions easily. And I myself have failed in 2 CSAT exams. I mean, out of 6 attempts I had given, in 2 CSAT papers I myself have failed. And so many of my friends who had come from IITs have failed. They had got a score of 130, 140 in the paper 1, but failed in the CSAT. What will you do? It's like you will be performing extremely well in the mains paper and failing in the language paper in mains. If you fail in the language paper, either your Kannada, Hindi or any language, and then English language, your papers will not be evaluated. Even if you have attempted each and every question in mains, if you fail in the language papers, your papers will not be evaluated like that. So I had also failed in this decision because of arrogance, nothing else. It's not that we are not able to solve the paper. It is just because that we didn't give these 15 minutes per day. I had thought of giving, but couldn't give. So to rectify that only, I just resorted to this YouTube channel, right? And in YouTube now, it is again like a ocean. If you click one link, again it will take you to multiple links and all. So you restrict yourself. One day you study ratio and proportions from one source, and again there will be number of pages. You should not go through that. Again, you decide each and every topic and stick to one source only. Just like what you will do for the other the main topics. So I have covered the CSAT, covered the main portions. This is all I wanted to convey regarding your preparation, strategy, planning, execution, and your biological cycle maintaining, waking up, sleeping cycle, all those things. And always will have the having your doubt, this thing, self doubts, like whether I'll be able to clear, shall I skip this attempt? Every time whenever you think to skip, you ask your question, why civil services? And this is the first question you will encounter even in your interview day. Okay, why I want to become a civil servant? This question looks very easy, but very difficult to get answer. Very difficult, right? Whenever you feel like demotivated, you just ask yourself this question: why we have chosen to become a civil servant? And try to find the answer. And one more personality development trait I wanted to convey. Each and every time I will tell this. Who have attended my previous, class? You guys have attended, no? You attended. You have attended. So have you ever written the diary? Diary writing you have started now? You have started? So do not deceive yourself, okay? Because it's for your own benefit, right? Nobody is going to save you except yourself, right? And that is really, if not immediately, it will give you the result. When you write the mains, then you will realize. I had told last time also, I'll tell now also that for in 2014-15 times when I started my preparation and all, like on questions related to the cow vigilantism, questions related to the these extrajudicial killings and all those things, I used to involve my emotions and write. Emotionally I used to write, and these are all politically very sensitive subjects. So I used to bring the political parties' names and all in my write-ups. BJP is doing this thing, Congress is doing this thing, like that. As a civil servant, you are never supposed to take the name of the political parties when you are in the this thing, when you are performing your duties. So same with the case with the UPSC exam. You should never take the name of the political parties in your answers, except if you are political science people, and that too academically you have to take. So I realized what a bullshit. Sorry for my language, but what a this thing very crap I was writing. BJP is doing this thing, cow vigilantism it is doing, religious extremism they are resorting to, like that. Then I started writing the diaries and all. Gradually I improved upon. I told you that I was in touch with my friend in Bangalore, and I used to discuss with him, and over the time he only had told, you have improved a lot in the last 6 months, and thanks only to that diary writing. Okay, you start writing your experiences at least 100 words per day. 100 words per day before you go to the bed. You keep on writing. It will intangibly help you to develop your personality also, right? It will help you for mains. It will help you for your prelims. It will help you as a person, as a human being. Okay, you should not stop it. Once in 3 days, even if you write also fine. Okay, but do not stop it. Keep continuously writing. Okay. So this is all I wanted to convey to you guys. The floor is now open for each and any question. Whatever question you have, you can ask. Related to the focus should be prelims 2024, because you are all going to clear this in first attempt. I mean, you are going to attempt in prelims in 2024. So you ask anything related to the prelims.
So how to manage the negative marking in prelims?
Negative marking, yes. So this is a very important question, because you decide how many negative mark to avoid the negative marking in the prelims paper. The role of these mock test papers comes. Mock test papers. You identify where you are getting more, negative. I mean, wrong questions. Yeah, always I recommend you to attempt the full length test papers, not the this topic wise. 100 questions will be of economy, 100 questions will be of environment. Yeah, instead of that, I suggest you to attempt full length test papers only. In that you will identify, in economy you are getting less, or in geography you are getting less, or in quality you are getting less. I mean, wrong marking, because of which negative marking will be there. So you identify the zones where you are lagging, maximum negative marking in which areas you are getting. To tackle that, you just revise that quite often. Okay, revise the subjects where you are getting more negative marking, and you will get to know only when you start solving mock test papers. There is no other way about it. Okay, as I told, many of my friends who have cleared this exam within 15-20 days of prelims preparation, they are gifted, and these gifted people will be like maximum 1-2%. 95 to 98% people will resort to the mock test papers only. Okay, do not avoid that. And in mock test papers, you consider them as real UPSC papers and attempt it to all sincerity, and then employ your trial and error methods. Trial and error methods you are understanding, no? Like out of 100 questions, you can attempt 100 out of 100 also. You can attempt 90 questions in one test. You can attempt 80 questions. Or else you can do one thing. You take around, you will tell you take one paper, one mock test paper of full length, and then attempt that same question paper only minimum 5-6 times. You first attempt 100 out of 100 and then check the answers. Do not look at the solutions. Just evaluate yourself. Are you getting it? You just attempt 100 out of 100. You will check the answer, evaluate yourself. Out of 100, how much you are getting right, how many you are getting wrong. 100 question over. Next attempt, next iteration, attempt the same question paper. You attempt only 95. Okay? You attempt only the 95. Again evaluate. How many you are getting correct? Again attempt 90. Again attempt 85. Again attempt 80, 75, 70. You are getting it? You attempt the same question paper for 5 to 6 times, and do this at least for minimum 4-5 different question papers. This exercise you start from today itself. Are you getting it? Then you will understand your strength zone. Like I had decided, I used to attempt minimum I used to attempt 88 to 95 questions minimum, because that's where, when I attempted 88 to 93, 95 questions in that range, I used to get the maximum result, because my negative marking used to be very high. See, for example, if I attempt 100, then I used to get 40 wrongs. Okay, if I attempt 70, I used to get 35 wrong. Okay, again if I attempt 80, the slightly negative marking used to come down. But when I used to attempt 88 to 95 in that range, the negative marking used to be less, and my score always used to be more than 110 to 115. Are you getting this point? And I have done this with all sincerity. So to avoid this negative marking, you have to do this exercise. I hope this is clear now, this exercise. If slight doubt is also there, you can stop me and you can ask. I hope I am able to communicate with you well. I am connecting with you, nothing is going outside head. If it is so, please let me know, and I will try to bring back the topic. Okay? This exercise everyone has to do to identify their strength, because you have to avoid negative marking at any cost. That's where the selection lies, So minimize your negative marking. To minimize negative marking, you have to attempt more and you have to identify your zone. Okay, sweet spot. That 88 to 95 was my sweet spot. Minimum 88 I used to attempt, maximum 95, like that. So you decide how much minimum you have to attempt, maximum how to you have to attempt. Okay. Next question. Anything related to the prelims?
So how to manage the prelims and the optional? Right now, my situation, I'm having the optional portion right now, and I'm getting the prelims essays, where I'm just unable to make and go through them at a time.
So if you are giving 2024 prelims now, whatever optional coaching you are getting in the classroom, that's fine, perfectly fine. Leave it at. Once you finish your classroom, optional class, finish. Your optional preparation has to stop there only. When you step out of the classroom, your prelims preparation should be only thing in your mind. Do not take optional till the completion of this prelims now. People will be saying, "Hey, complete your optional before January," like that. Do not listen to them, because without clearing the prelims, what will you do with the maximum optional preparation? You will have at least 60 to 70 days before the prelims and the mains examination, right? After prelims result, next before giving your mains exam, there will be minimum 65 to 70 days of time. Okay, and trust me, these 65 to 70 days of time is enough if you have listened to your classes well, optional classes well, and if you have your notes in ready. I mean, if you have been given the notes by the coaching institute, if you have made your notes by your handwritten or whatever means, if you have the notes, if you have the previous year question papers, and if you are good at English, word usage, your optional preparation is done. And if you have the in-depth understanding of the subject, optional preparation can be done within 60 to 70 days, along with all other preparation also. So don't think of optional at all now. This is the time to give prelims only, nothing else, right? Do not be under any confusion about this. Everything has to be channelized towards prelims only. Next question.
So how to post statements I also don't know.
Yes. This is nothing but you have already covered 50 to 60% well, and the remaining thing is related to the revision only. This is very quite common, because out of 4 options, we will be knowing minimum 2 options. We will be knowing that 2 options are wrong for sure, but we will be confused between the remaining 2 options, and this confusion will always be there. Okay, so to avoid this, again the role of revision comes. This is nothing but you are on the right track. I too had this dilemma most of the times. Out of 4 options, I was damn sure that 2 options are wrong, but out of the remaining 2, I used to be very confused. And the people who had cleared earlier, they have also suggested this thing. It is nothing but revision. If you revise now and taking chance means you have to be like risk. You should not be risk-averse person. You should be able to take the risk. Out of 10 such question, even if 6 turns out to be correct, again you will be in the positive side only. Okay, so you take risk in such situation. It's like a probability situation. Okay, and if you revise well, then definitely chances are there that 90% you are going to get it correct. Right? There is something called as gut feeling. Right? Gut feeling. You follow that. You go through what your inner mind is saying. Do not confront your inner mind. That doubt will always be there. So if your heart is saying that this answer C option is right, but your mind is saying that your option D is right, always go with your heart choice. C. Okay, that is do not listen to mind at that time during such confusion, right? So this confusion will always be there if you are sincere, if you are very much focused towards the exam, right? This I have gone through multiple times because I have solved hundreds of question papers. This is where the role of mock test papers come in. And whatever you will face in the role of mock test papers that usually you will face in the UPSC exam also. That you keep it in mind. It will be like that only. That is why I tell you, take these mock test papers very sincerely, and you have to start it from 1st January onwards. No matter what happens in the world, you have to solve one full length paper of 100 questions. just like UPSC. Otherwise, trust me, it is not going to help you. If you are not following that, the prelims hurdle will never be that easy. Prelims hurdle is the most difficult hurdle. We have to pass through that to get your name into the list. So this is the way I have followed. I am not telling that this is the only way. This is the way majority of the people who have cleared the exam have opted, right? That is why people usually say hard work is needed. What is hard work? Hard work is nothing but sitting, putting your energy, putting your deterministic mind into work. Nothing else other than this. Okay. What else other than this? Any question? You have a lot of time to ask any question. Do not hesitate.
So is there any source where you can download the last study specific questions?
UPSC site itself is there. UPSC in site itself they have given the PDF, all the question papers.
So you have to write the question answers or how will you
Question paper is separate, answer sheet is separate. It is better if you download the question paper and then take the printout of it. Otherwise, in the Xerox centers, there will be ready-made question papers of UPSC available. You take it, and many coaching institutes have published the answer just below it also. Okay. Otherwise, you can take the compilation given by any magazines like previous UPSC question paper sort like that of the last 5 years or 10 years. You go through that. Because in that question itself, below that question only, some might have given the answers and with 3-4 lines of explanation. These things will also come into handy. Okay. Next thing. Next question. Anything which comes to your mind.
Still, I'm pursuing my internship. Right now, still have not started preparing for these. So how should I start my preparations?
That's what I told you. If you are not giving this prelims 2024 attempt, you can start from this Brunel site. Okay, brunel.org/toppers. brunel.org/toppers. You go through this link. You first thing is notification. After that, question papers. After that, this thing. brunel.org/toppers. You read minimum 20 to 25 previous year toppers experiences, like from 2016, 17, 18 up to 2021, 22. What they have done, it has been clearly given. Okay, if you are fresher and aiming for 2025 prelims, okay. If not, if you have decided to do 2024 only, then you can very well start now only. 4-5 months is enough. 150 days. As I told, put a 24 hours of target. We fix these NCRTs as your base and one standard reference books along with your coaching notes. That's it. Don't have to study anything. Okay. And for current affairs, you just have to follow only one standard source. If you are reading the newspapers, along with that one magazine, right? Standard source means one any coaching institute's magazine compilations. You are getting compilation here. If you are sure, if you are confident about it, you go through it. Okay. I will not recommend any of the particular institutes such that, but I will suggest you to go through any one institution because current affairs is same for everything, for every other institute also. So you decide which current affairs institute you need to go through, stick to it.
So like daily has to be done monthly.
Monthly only. If you are getting daily snippets like 2-3 pages, that is fine. If it is more than 2-3 pages, then stick always to the monthly only. Okay. You identify what is your reading speed, how many pages you can read in 1 minute, how many words, how many sentences you can read. You can calculate by yourself. Based on your ability, you decide. Like whenever I used to sit for 1 hour study, I used to decide like within this 1 hour, I used to read minimum of 10 to 15 pages. That is the only thing. Many people might have read 45, 50 pages also, but my capacity was 10 to 15 pages. That's enough. So you fix your targets realistically. Are you getting it? Do not fix your targets based on somebody else's capacity. You are the best judge of your own capacity, irrespective of self-doubts. Okay? You have to know yourself. This exam process will let you know yourself and channelize it well. What else?
Sir, how to practice comprehensive passages in future?
Passages in this is for that reading only Hindu paper editorial. You are reading the newspapers, no? Editorial, opinion column. So you have to read vertically instead of horizontal. Vertical reading. It's like, that has to be processed in mind very much fast. And whenever it comes natural, by practice. It's not that it will be easily coming to you, but you have to practice it. For kind of, if you start reading newspaper now, by the 2 months completion, you will be able to read it in vertical mode. That means you have heard Rajnikant style of reading. That kind of reading you will understand if you are very sincere and very serious. That thing you will realize. Even Swami Vivekananda, you might have heard the stories. He used to write, flip the pages just like that. So that vertical reading will come into handy only when you are you are well practiced throughout months together. That you will develop over the time. That is the only thing, because in comprehension, things will first, it is better to read the questions quickly within 10-15 seconds. You go through the question and then suddenly you start reading the passages. But always it's very risky. Passages are never like black and white. It's full of grays always. Okay, gray areas are too much in passages. Do not take that risk. Always depend on the quantitative aptitude for CSAT. Because out of no matter how much is the expertise level in English, people coming from Oxford University, Harvard University also have failed in CSAT, because these passages are subjective in nature. You might know 99% of the people might think that option A is the right answer, but UPSC will choose option B. It is very subjective. Why to take unnecessary risk when you have the ready-made food available in the quantitative aptitude? In quantitative aptitude, it is always black and white. Either it is correct or it is wrong. There is no scope of argument or debate, right? So you start practicing these quantitative aptitudes more. And for passages, your vertical reading and quick reading and grasping, that thing will help. Other than that, anything you can ask. But preferably, Prelims 2024 related, because you are going to give the attempt. And let me tell you, again I am telling you, do not skip the attempts. You have given ample number of attempts. 6 attempts are more than enough. Okay. Earlier only 4 attempts were there. Now they have given 6 attempts. Right? And don't think that you are wasting the attempts and all. By the time you are able to give 6th attempt, it will be very difficult. Like, that is why I am telling you, you clear it in your initial maximum 3 attempts only. After passing 3 attempts, things will become very difficult as you progress. You might have seen that aspirants series and all, no? That's quite, quite true, because as time progresses, as years pass through, your friends will be moving up the ladder of career, progress, earning money, enjoying the lifestyle. But you will be stuck in that, preparation zone. That added pressure will bring down your preparation zone again. So to avoid those things, you think that I am going to give my last attempt, which will be my first attempt, etc. Like that. You have that mentality. When I started my exam, I was very full of zeal, because I thought that I will clear it in the first attempt only. Even with that attempt only, I had taken, even with that mindset, I had taken 3 attempts. If I had not had that zeal of clearing within my first attempt or within my second attempt like that, I would have never cleared this exam. So have it, be full with a lot of zeal, lot of enthusiasm, right? Then only things will work out. Any other thing? Any other doubt related to the prelims?
So regarding revision,
Ah.
how, like, what should be our primary focus on? Is it analyzing the mock test or reading the standard course notes?
Yeah, this is a good question. How do you revise? That is the first thing you have to answer, because while reading for the first time itself, whenever you are reading anything for the first time, you highlight. You will be having marker. If you are reading it in the PDF file, just highlight it in your through your highlighters. Or if you are reading a hard copy, you highlight upon the important points you feel as per your previous year question papers analysis, as per your coaching institute's recommendations, right? You are getting this, no? You, whenever you are reading, even the NCERTs also, NCERTs, the standard reference books, you inside the books itself, you should highlight. Whenever you are reading for the first time, and revision, your more focus has to be on those highlighted portions. Highlighted portion, whatever you will highlight, no, that should not be more than 20%, 10 to 20% of the entire page. I have seen many people highlighting the whole page. I have literally seen it in the libraries in Delhi. Okay, when I used to pass through them, I used to see their books and all. They have highlighted the entire pages. And when will you revise those things? What is the point of highlighting? So you identify, pinpoint, maximum. Even in the mains answer sheets also, you have to highlight, underline in the mains keywords, even in mains examination, and that should not be more than 20% of the entire page. That means you are highlighting only on the maximum effective keywords, like that. Here also in the first time reading, you highlight only on the things which you feel that it has been already asked in the previous paper. It is having a probability that it may be asked in this year. It is very important as per your coaching institute lecturer. It is very important as per your friend's suggestion or the current circumstances. You understand that. Okay? And in revision, you focus mainly on the highlighted portions. And in revision, again, while doing vertical reading, sometimes you will be left behind. By the time you come back to the revision, now you will be understanding. Oh, this I had left in my first reading. You can highlight it again, and again make sure that it should not cross more than 20%. Again, during your third time revision, you can focus. You can cover the entire thing. You are getting it now, especially for NCERTs. People will say make notes out of NCERTs and all. No need. You just highlight it in the books itself, or in the margin itself. You can write. You write in the keywords, okay, or you can use the mnemonics. Mnemonics, you understand, no? Like in your day-to-day usage language, you can. On a lighter note, I used to remember the mnemonics in the form of abuses. We North Karnataka people, I am from Karnataka, so we used to use lot of abusive words in the during childhood and all. So we used to mark these mnemonics with those so that you can remember it quickly, like that. So you identify your own mnemonical things. Nothing is wrong, nothing is right. All you have to do is to clear these things. And there is nothing called as crook, because in this UPSC there is nothing called as chit business. You can do the chit business after clearing the exam in your training academies, but not in your college days, not in the UPSC exam, never. UPSC exam is the most strictest exam conducted probably in India. There is no scope of any kind of under the kind of this thing. You cannot deceive the UPSC newsletters. You cannot deceive the UPSC squad during exam day. So there is nothing called as by crook you can do that. No, only by diligent planning, diligent execution you can clear this exam. Okay. I hope you got the answer. Revision how to do it. And this is what I had done, like highlighting of the NCERT, and trust me, it has helped me a lot. This highlighting portion, when I used to go through revision during revision time, that and many questions have also come. Even during that monthly magazine current affairs, I used to highlight. Especially I used to follow during that time. Vision IAS was very famous at that time. So they used to give it in the bold letters. Even in those bold letters also I used to highlight with the markers. And during the exam time, just before the exam day also, I used to read only the highlighted portions. Are you getting it? So it will help. What else? And practice. Practice makes human perfect, and there is nothing wrong. No more truth on that. Okay. No more debates, no more argument about it, because practice has to be very perfect, and practice will only take you to the above mark. So practice, 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 especially for prelims. For mains, you just need to analyze in your mind, continuously you have to come up with the keywords, come up with the writing practice and all. Here, you have to solve the questions. Whenever you are commuting from office to your home to coaching institute, if you are sitting in the cab or if you are sitting in metro, bus, anyway, take a mobile. There are multiple apps also. Just keep on practicing questions, answers. There will be question answers. You can type it in the Play Store, UPSC Prelims apps. You can download any one too. Again, continuously practice. You utilize every resources under your disposal for prelims only, nothing else. This is the time to completely channelize your energy into prelims. What else other than these? Any doubts? Time management and all, by this time you come to know, I guess. So whatever these coaching institute people are telling you, as far as these mock test papers are concerned, do not neglect them. No matter, they might claim the number one institute or they may be the beginners, whatever it is. Question papers framed in the coaching institute will help you eventually. Do not dishearten also if you get less marks. I had got in the minus. Trust me, out of 100 marks, I had got -2, -3 like that when I started my preparation. So it only indicates it. And many people who used to get 100 out of 90, out of 100, 90, 95 they used to get. And they used to take selfies in front of their list in the coaching institutes. It has happened, literally it has happened during my batches in Delhi institutes and all. So, and they couldn't clear the exam, unfortunately. So many of my friends, including me, one is in the IFS, now I am in IRTS. The people who used to get in negatives, and we used to chill, chalega, we have started, okay? We have started and we are on the right track. And the people who used to boast themselves, they used to do the copying, they used to look at the mobile, internet, then mark the answers. It will eventually drag them down, So it is not you are going to compete with others. It is the competition with yourself, even though it is a relative competition. It is a sheer competition with your mind, nothing else. You may think that a person sitting next to you may be your competitor, but it is not so. It is you and you only. It's very strange, in fact. It is a relative examination. Definitely a person sitting next to you, her or his performance will certainly impact yours also. But at the same time, it is more individualistic. It is the competition between your mind, nothing else. So always think your friend as a supporter, not as a competitor in this exam. Okay? And it is not a college exam because it's not an university exam where people used to get 99.99 percentage. The topper score itself is 50% here, 52%. You might have seen. So never ever think that your knowledge will, if you had got 99% in college, you will be getting the same thing here. No. And never ever get disappointed because of less marks in the mock test papers. Never stop. And when I completed my 2 years, 2 prelims attempts, then also I used to get 27 out of 100. 27 was my minimum score out of 100, and around 90, 92, 93. I mean, it will be like, even I have forgotten it will be evaluated for 200 marks, no?
Yes, yes, sir.
200 marks, no? So out of 200, 27 was my score. Even after during my third attempt, used to get, especially from Vajiram test paper. In Vajiram test paper run I attempted when the exam was just like 35 days away. I had got 27 and maximum around 158 or 160 somewhere in that range out of 200. In that too Vajiram only. Okay. So mock test paper score will not decide your eventual position in the UPSC Prelims. But what will be the deciding role of mock test paper is, it will certainly help you to understand your strengths and weaknesses and your trial and error methods, right? And trial and error methods are the ones which will sail you through eventually. I could able to identify my sweet spot 88 to this 95 range, 88 to 95. This is only because of mock test papers and executed it in the main UPSC prelims also. I could be able to sail through twice. Initial 2 attempts I couldn't clear. In first attempt in 2015 only I had given when I was working as mining engineer, software engineer. I had got 66 marks out of 200 in UPSC. Second attempt I gave it with a half-hearted preparation. Okay, like around 2.5 months of preparation. When the exam was in the month of August, in March, April, I used to roam around nearby places in Delhi when I was taking coaching class. So I was not very sincere towards the approach. So I had got 109.33. Then the cutoff was 116. Cutoff was 116. I had got 109.33 in 2016 exam. In 2017 exam, cutoff was around 107.33. Cutoff was 107.33. I had got 110 marks. So just one question I was able to sail through in third attempt. That too with rigorous test paper solution. People used to wonder like how the hell you were like solving these many papers. Because Subra Ranjan madam was there. I had asked her what is the secret for this prelims. She only had told that you have to solve the n number of questions, no other way. Many people who are in my forest service and all other services, they had one of my friend was there from Odisha. He was like very brilliant with prelims. With 10-12 days of preparation, he used to clear the exam. And when the exam was 12-15 days away only for prelims, he used to read the optional. He was that confident. And very rare people will be there. So he used to struggle in the mains. I used to help him in the mains. So it happens like only the rest of the rare people will be there who will be very confident about the prelims. Rest will be like me only, very underconfident. To avoid this underconfidence, we have to solve these mock test papers, nothing else. And in 2018 attempt, the cutoff was 98. Cutoff was 98 for general category, and I also had got exact 98, along with my 2 of IAS and IRTS batchmates. After clearing only, we came to know about the results. No? So I had given up all the hopes because in 2017 attempt, I had CSC 2017. I had given interview also. I had gone till interview stage, but in interview I couldn't perform well and fell short of 10 marks. Finish. The entire world crumbled upon me. Lot of pressure. Being a son of a farmer, being from a vernacular medium, all the doubts started creeping on whether I will be able to clear or not. Again, I told you mental toughness. I had this zeal to bounce back. The prelims was just 35 to 37 days away. I could gather my energy again. I followed Sadhguru's YouTube lectures. It gave me a lot of boostings at that time. Lot of boostings at that time, in fact. So, and my family supported me, my brother supported me, and then I could able to clear exactly with 98 marks. After giving the exam, I thought my Delhi days are over, so I started packing. My brother called me and told me to stay there at least till the results. After results, if you are failed, you can come back. again to Bangalore and start preparation from Bangalore. And then I waited. Fortunately, I cleared, and then I started my marathon journey for mains. I could able to get 307th rank in fourth attempt. So it is all about perseverance, all about determination, all about your self-belief. Okay, it's all always like fight between your mind and your thought processes, nothing else. Okay, so we will sail through. And I always had this tendency of misjudging people. I used to think that इसका क्या होगा, उसका क्या होगा, ये clear नहीं करेगी, वो clear नहीं करेगी. And for my shocking surprises, UPSC always used to select those people who I used to judge they will not clear. And I used to be surprised. One girl was there, I'll not take the name. She is like a kind of a fashion model. She was from Delhi only. Always she used to go for partying, and she used to go for kind of partying always. And hardly almost if we had discussed 10 times, hardly 1 or 2 times she used to talk about the studies. And I used to pass my judgment saying that hey, iska kya hoga, ye clear nahi karegi, she will not clear the exam, like that. So I used to judge like that. And five prelims she failed. 5 prelims she failed, and in the 6th prelims, she is from general category only. In 6th prelims, she got the rank 360, somewhere in the range of 360 to 380. Finally, she cleared. So it only indicates that your personal lifestyle or personal enjoyment, entertainment has no correlation with the UPSC exam. You can party 4-5 days in a week, and if you are very sincere for 3 days, out of 7 days, if you party 4 days, 3 days, if you are very sincere and study for 18 hours, you can easily clear also. Who knows? And many of my friends from Karnataka only are there, who are into IAS, IPS in different parts of the country. They are also party animals, but they used to be very sincere when it comes to studies. So minimum in a week they used to party for 2 days, but rest of the 5 days they used to study very hard. They cleared. So only thing is your understanding of this nature of the exam, that is very much relevant. And whatever I have told you, these all things are practiced more or less by all the toppers. Okay. As I told in the beginning itself, it doesn't require very highly intelligent, intellectual people. It's just a normal, normal JNU kind of people. Okay. You don't have to be very brilliant. You don't have to be from Harvard, Oxford also. I was from Kannada government school from my village. Okay. Many of the students are there who have studied in their vernacular medium, especially from Bihar, UP. These people clear more because we have that zeal to prepare hard. Okay? No matter what is the situation, we will tackle them. We will have that much of self-clarity, clarity of thought process. Even if we feel like nothing is visible in front, then we will try to identify the solutions at least. We will not bogged down by the pressures created. Okay? There will be a number of pressures, and this is just a beginning. Let me tell you, since I am into the service right now, there will be a lot of pressures in services. Especially I am into railway service. My pressure is incomparable to the people in the IAS, IPS. Okay, I am into the railway service. Even despite being in railway service, I will have a lot of pressure of performance. Especially with current government, railways will never stop. 24/7, 365 days. It is a services sector. Lot of pressure is there to generate the revenue and all. You have to put your brain into work. If you are not performed well, then there will be consequences. So lot of things are there. Office politics will be there. Everything will be there. So this entire exam process will prepare you for the rest of your career. So you prepare you to that jail. Okay? And let me tell you, this is very interesting also. Civil services career will surely give you the opportunity which is not available in the private sector. In private sector, of course there is money, of course there is comfort, of course there is materialistic, all the comfort levels. In government sector, we will have a lot of struggles. You want to get one home, good home, you will be having a lot of trouble. But in private, if you are good enough in coding and all, you will have a 4-5 BHK bungalow in brigade apartments kind of in Bangalore city, and you will have a Mercedes Benz kind of cars. In government, you will be traveling by bus only. That is the situation, reality. But the service level, ultimately, you give back to the society, that is incomparable to the private sector. You will make the lives of somebody who is downtrodden a better one by being in the power sector. By being in power, you can change the lives of somebody. As Mahatma Gandhi's wife Kasturiba ji said, even if you can change only one human being, your life as a human being is a success. If one human being can live his or her life by saying that this person has helped me, then your life as a human being is a success. I am not undermining the private sector job by any means. I was also private sector employee only, and I have high regards for the private sector. But in government sector, you will have plenty of opportunities to help the poor people. Ultimately, what is the purpose of the life? To help the people in whichever capacity we can. Even if you are in private sector and helping the people, no, your life is a successful life only. Should not think that I could not clear the UPSC exam. That's why I am very bad, I am not that competent enough and all. No. If you are in private sector, if you are helping somebody's life to improve upon their lives and in turn they can contribute to society, your life is a wonderful success. So always prepare with that zeal, okay, motivation. And I used to watch a lot of movies on Sardar Patel, Subhash Chandra Bose, Jawaharlal Nehru, all these towering personalities to boost my morale during my this thing. This is a UPSC is like a cyclical process. No matter what, there will be ups, there will be downs. Okay, whenever you are in this state, you have to boost your morale. Okay, if you have somebody from your family to support you, that's well and good. If not, you have to boost yourself. Okay.